listening to WKIT, Pyramid One World Radio.
My soul found you and fell in love. Now I can't get you out of my mind. Your tears, your touch, your lips, your love, your laugh, your songs, your stories. Your heart, your arms, your lips, your laugh, your love, your songs, your stories. Our tears, our prayers, our laugh, our love, our smiles, our songs, our stories. They're ours for a lifetime. I'll love you, two hearts, one beat. You whisper to me, be mine for a lifetime. It's the little things that make.
Go ahead.
Love is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It has the power to bring people together, to heal wounds, and to create a better future. I believe that if we all embraced love and spread it throughout our lives, we could create a more peaceful and harmonious world. Love can be expressed in many ways through words, actions, gestures, or simply just by being present with someone. We can use our love to make a difference in our communities, countries, and even the world. By showing compassion and understanding for each other's differences, we can create an environment of acceptance and respect that will benefit us all. Together, let us use our love to change the world for the better.
Darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. And I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Wow, I got all teary-eyed. That was beautiful.
I was going to say, excuse me.
Exactly.
I get it. When I wrote Amy's part, I was like, I couldn't talk for like a day.
Yeah. It was beautifully said.
Very beautiful.
And great
I had
music.
tears in my eyes, and I'm looking at
Yeah.
him going, maybe I need a pair of glasses too to hide this from the camera.
It's like, no, maybe this is Valentine's Day, but nobody realizes. Maybe I do. Maybe you just get older and you're an old fart and you just get this stuff through your head. It's like Valentine's Day is every day.
Yes.
It's not one day. It's every day. Every day we love who we are, the people that are around us, the things that we do with the people around us. the things we do with the people that are around us in our world. Okay?
Yeah. Beautiful.
So, hey, I mean, and I got more. I got,
Well, and that's the beauty of it, that love transcends everything. It allows everything to be, not only just on this planet, but in the universes, the oneness. And when we can share that in any way coming from love, that is the strongest energy. And as you know, we've already talked about Albert Einstein, who was the scientist who found out scientifically in his own way that love is a real life force energy from which all life experience flows from. And I was
absolutely.
like, dang, that's freaking amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Scientist who's able to get that information. Moves it from, oh, love and light to, okay, there might be something to this, which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, but he probably said that.
Yeah.
Und there is something about und yes. Und we got people on the phone.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let's have
Yeah.
some love readings.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I'm gonna. All right, now, people that are on the phone. This is what I'm gonna do. First of all, I'm gonna pull off your area code, and then you're gonna know who it is. But there's somebody in California that called up before, and she was there, and I said, you got to call back at 6. Well, she said, what's this California? I said, no, okay, 3. Whatever. I mean, we're all over the world. I mean, I called this morning. I called Africa. Big deal. It's like I woke them up.
Yeah, that's
Actually, they
beautiful.
woke me up, so they were ahead of me.
It all brings us together.
Okay, right? Area code 480. Who's on the line?
Well, who else could it be, Bob?
Hey,
Oh, JK. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much. Just calling you guys to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Happy
Valentine's
Love Day.
It is. And how have you been doing? What's been going on for you? It looks like you're pretty busy.
Well, pretty much. I've been doing all kinds of things, but I've been with Bob here every other week. So
Excellent. And it sounds like you're having a great time as well.
he has a great
that's
show,
fun.
by the way. Now, when we were talking on his show, actually, I got so many people that wrote me back and that to say like, hey, it was like great because you guys were like talking to each other, and it was like a kind of sort of, it was like we were talking about a lot of different things. I mean, we were like all over the place. But the idea of the things that we were all over the place about was things are in people's minds, like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing. People are thinking about these things right now. And what we talked about was things that people were thinking about. And it was all of a sudden when they played back the show from last week, they were all, wow.
Yeah. Beautiful.
They thought
Nice
there
job.
were those crazies out there. No. We're crazy with you.
Exactly. Right. Let's bring it to the surface of consciousness, man.
Right?
Excuse
Okay.
me. And so what's up, JK? How can we help?
No, I was calling you guys to wish you a thing. I don't need a reading, but
Cool.
All right. We'll have a beautiful love day.
you too. Just
All right.
be blessed, okay? I'm gonna be
Always.
off.
You too.
You
You
got
can,
it, man.
JK,
All right.
you can listen.
Bye-bye.
Just put yourself on mute.
No, I've got stuff to do. So.
Nice.
Thank you for taking the
Yeah,
time.
thanks for
Lots of
calling.
love to you.
Definitely.
Well, I love you guys. You know that. So, okay.
Beautiful.
All right, bye.
All right, now
you
we
go.
got somebody else on here, and that it's guess who's back? Anonymous. Anonymous, you are back. I see you back. Are you going to bail out on me this time, or are you going to say something? Come on.
There's your answer.
Pretty God, it must be. Joe Biden is calling me on the phone. Net. Look, you're still a schmuck.
Oh, shoot. But the beautiful thing is whoever Anonymous is, they're wanting to listen. They're wanting to just be here.
You know what? This is Valentine's Day, and like I said, it's not a day that everybody thinks like, oh wow, I love you, it's Valentine's Day. Bull. Every day is Valentine's Day. If you can't say I love you every single day, you're awake.
Yeah.
Then heck, what are we doing here? No
Well,
one shooting down ETs all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the great thing is for Mag and I, we do say I love you a lot more than once a day. And it's not forced and it's not like I have to. It's I want to. I want to share this love.
You mean it.
Yeah, well, heck yeah, I do.
That's it. But I'm saying, when you mean it, now you were talking about energy before. You ever notice that when you say something like that, how you feel like maybe for just a few seconds, you feel different?
Yeah, those endorphins kicking in, baby.
I swear to God, I didn't realize that for so many years. I'm serious. I mean, let's face it, we're born as babies, and we're not born brilliant. Some are. I'm not gonna say some are, but I mean, eventually, when you go through your life and you keep living your life, and all kinds of things that keep on going and going and going and going and going. All of a sudden, you go, ah, I got it. It's like, hey, and like, why didn't I get it like 20 years ago? That's what everybody said.
Well, the great thing is it doesn't try to make you connect, it allows you to. And
Right.
if we even choose to connect or understand that, that's the beauty of it. Love allows everything to be. You want to connect? No? Great. Love you.
And then we can always enrich and deepen our understanding and our relationship to any vibration of energy, including love, and it can take on and express itself in so many ways.
Yeah. Versatility.
I just want to remind everybody that's listening to us out there, the number here is 609-663-0153. You can call in to WKIT, and you can be on the show, A View of Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think I got California back. California, is that you?
Yes.
Yes! Now I'm psychic. I saw the thing pop up. I knew it was California.
Nice.
Right. We didn't have a conversation earlier or anything, but that's okay.
Well, there you go. There you go. Jamie and Maggie are here. Go ahead. Talk to them.
Is that Reese?
It is Reese. Yeah.
Vibes that way. Yeah.
Yay! Happy
Awesome.
Valentine's Day.
Hey, when are you coming back? It's that strong for you.
What's that?
I said, when are you coming back? Because it's strong for you unless you're already back to Arizona.
I'm not back yet. I'm trying to coordinate it, and it is like pandemonium right now. So
it's not easy, but keep going. For it to be that strong for you, I'm like, no, just keep going. All the circumstances, challenges, hurdles, whatever you might be going through, just keep going because it's going to kind of allow you back into this. Yeah, and I feel like, even though I know everyone's amazing in your life, but I feel like you're ready for the next phase of your life, that you're going to bring in some new people, some new dynamics, some new experiences. Because you've got a lot of energy, but sometimes it'll leave you alone to find yourself. And, you're like me, like, okay, I found myself. What are we doing now? So it's kind of nice when you can, one, understand ourselves the best that we can, two, to share that connection. And all we have to be is just us. So I want to say thank you for all that you do for others as well. The organizations, your life experience, and you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Awesome.
Speaking of organizations, do you see any work-related travel in my future? I'm waiting to hear on this job that might take me abroad.
I was just going to say, is there an international connection? I do feel like yes. Strong potential by June, July, or sooner. Again, it could certainly happen sooner. Do either you find out, or you might already be ready to start traveling international. And if you're not thinking about Europe or any of those, it's pretty strong for you. Don't be surprised if it lines up as a potential.
Okay. Yeah, the organization's based out of London, and
okay, cool.
I just met with them, and the woman that is supposed to give like the final approval, it just went on like paternal leave. So, so yeah, I don't know if I should count this one out but I just feel a connection to it. So
definitely, if you're okay, keep going. Keep that energy flowing.
Okay.
Okay, because that way it'll keep it an amped up energy. And then if and when that happens, but you got this, or you've got another opportunity. Because I feel like there's going to be, now just because it's offered doesn't mean you have to choose it. But besides whatever this opportunity is that you're waiting for, I feel like there's something else that comes for you. He's coming for you.
Okay.
It's a very good thing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and you having to be steadfast, doing the best that you can and keep going, especially with our children. As you know, we can only do the best we can. But I also feel like your child, unless it's okay to say his name, but is a very, very
Yeah.
nice young man. And I've never met him, yet I can feel his energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys make an awesome team. Hey, Mag's doing some tarot. She's throwing down some cards for you.
Yeah.
What you got, girl?
It's interesting. Jamie said you're at this whole new level. Absolutely. The Fool is just ushering this time frame in. And when I shuffled, it was before you were asking about job opportunities, and I was just shuffling for a little love reading. So this is a little bit of love reading with practical. You can kind of fit it into where you fit it into your life. But the Fool is definitely opening up brand new energy. So when we think about love, when we think about connecting to love, the first card you hear is Temperance, which is the card of unconditional love. So we know that you have that consciousness, you have that awareness of what's flowing into your life, what's working, what's not working. So that's a beautiful flow card and a nice card of awareness going forward. There is a card next to the Two of Swords, which is all about communication. And so do a lot of communication, whether it pertains to love and to relationships or to jobs or anything else. It's about really having those conversations, making sure that you're balancing your logic with your intuition, because sometimes your logic's going to steer you one way and your intuition's going to steer you another. And I feel like you're already trying to recorrect some of those things anyway. So just flow with it, because you've expanded consciously with this new level. So now you're integrating more. You're integrating more of that conscious awareness and trying to figure out, okay, where is this going to play out with the decisions I'm making, with the new opportunities coming up? So that is like you're just working the kinks out to make sure that your logic and your intuition are flowing again. Because anytime you level up or you open up new doors of possibilities and you're opening up and expanding consciously, there's sometimes like not a rewiring, but kind of like let me look at this again and make sure, do I trust myself or do I not trust myself? There's a little bit of that happening. And so just make sure you have lots of conversations with yourself or whoever you need to have them with to make sure that that gets balanced out. But in the end of this, you have the Empress, which is awesome because this is a card of passion and creativity and a lot of fun. And so really this opportunity, this new phase of your life is going to bring you a lot of passion and a lot of opportunity. So just get those things aligned with your head and your heart and you are good to go, because whoa, sky's the limit there. I love that.
Hey, you know what else I'm picking up as Mag is talking? Yeah. And again, just because people come in doesn't mean you have to choose them. But as she was sharing, I feel like whether you go travel to another country or another person has another country connection, that you will find yourself in a potential relationship. And there could be an R name in connection, whether a first or a last name, strong potential in R name, like Richard Robertson or whatever the case is. But it's got a very good energy. It's just there already. So don't worry about it. Just be open for it, because I feel like you are open to life. And all right, let's see what else we can do, which is perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
You're
definitely. And happy
welcome.
Valentine's Day.
Lots of love to you.
Big time.
Thank
Keep us
you.
posted.
Big hugs.
Well, there
Okay.
you go.
Hugs.
Talk to you soon.
Cool.
And anytime you want to call back, go ahead.
She's such a sweetheart, and her son is awesome.
Oh, your ad on Quarantine Buddy, and I thought it was so sweet. You're so funny. Just
How
like
are you?
it would be.
All right, now who's on 768
Anyway, I
area
hope you
code?
don't mind me being too forward, but I wanted to apply for the position.
Hey, okay.
Yeah,
Are you
to be a Quarantine Buddy. Would you be up for that?
Are you
So then I'll be over at yours in a couple of hours.
Is that your place or ours?
I have to.
Where the heck is that from? But the other one hung up.
That's
and
interesting.
was on her a line is coming through as that voice.
I just got to kind of say, as that playful validation, that could be on the heels of what we were talking about with Reese, and not that it plays out that way. But,
I'm serious.
That's you, right? It came through your mechanisms, man, not ours.
When she hung up,
Or do you want me to just bring over Ted Bundy first?
This
Wow.
show is taking a whole nother turn. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Woo!
This is the first minute comment. Wow. I'm telling you, man, you get, wow.
You gotta spice it up, man. That's a Valentine Day. Oh, Lordy.
That's when we're all dreaming of. Woo!
Ow.
You know, but I do have to know, though, who is on area code 765 area code? Is there somebody there? .com.
Apparently it's
No, yes?
Nope.
There they go.
That's cool.
Whatever it was.
Thanks for the call. That
It
was
even when she hung up, like when people hang up, or whatever I happen to do to this thing, the name itself and that will disappear, and then it goes to the other side of the board until it's gone, you know. And that one just hung out. She hung up, and it just hung out. And I moved the thing over, and it was still there.
interesting.
I said, wait a minute.
Very cool.
So
And I was directly connected with Reese right after.
I'm
Like,
telling you, that's weird. And Anonymous is still there, so I mean.
Hey, Reese, if you're listening to this, a little bit more validation. That's coming through Bob's dynamics there, not ours. So
Yeah.
excellent. And Bob's very practical, which I love. And when you can question it and get those kind of solid validation, go, I don't understand it, but it just happened. Exactly. That's when it takes us out of our mind and into our soul.
That was interesting.
Yeah. It's
Maybe you know, there's 5 computers up.
Wow.
Maybe one talking to the other one.
It did sound a little like AI, if you want my opinion.
There's a little
so.
bit. I will
Yeah.
share with you, just for remote viewing, I do a lot of stuff. But as I've shared a lot, that by the mid 2030s, will AI be running this entire planet? It will become a one world unification, not separation like all the different. Crazy, huh? You only a nut job till it's validated to go watch how strong AI comes on, and then unification kind of stuff.
I tell you something. I brought that up, and for you people out there that just may be thinking about this, please call in and get a free reading, because I want to see what makes this world tick.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, I have another show that is going to go on net soon that I will find out what's making the world tick. Believe me.
excellent.
But on the other hand,
better than ticking them off.
I may do that too. I may do that too. I mean, you never know. But the idea we were talking about was, you know, there are so many things out there that are connected to nowhere. I mean, it's very strange that when I say it that way, but it's what people are telling me. What's between the ears in so many people is empty. We used to think about, your heart, or you think about other people, or, you have emotions. They're like you're talking about AI taking over. Okay. Emotions are already not there.
Right. There's going to be no emotion connected, just information. Bip, 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 bip. Yep.
That's what I mean. And it's like when you talk to these people and that you ask them questions about different things in their life, but I mean, maybe I get a little more, maybe I'm tough in a way. I'll ask somebody like, hey, when was the last time you weigh? Whatever. And they'll turn around to me and go, what? Now, if I was 20, something like that, and somebody asked me the same question, I would turn around and say, excuse me? I wouldn't say, huh? I'd say it's anything between. Let me tell you where the whole thing is starting, and you can either agree or not agree. But I mean, I see it every day. Cell phones. That is the screw up right there. All these people and kids. I had a kid the other day. We have not too far from the studio. There's a two-way, three lane in each direction highway. A kid, maybe 8, 9, something like that, walked across that street Did not get hit, thank God. And he was texting on his phone. Now, a guy from where this is, came in, and he was the one that told me about it. He says, the damn kid, he says, never took his eyes off the phone.
You bring up an interesting point. What was the satellite thing? It was a game that people were going to stores and finding characters.
Pokemon?
Yeah, that. And literally, there was people getting hit by vehicles because of that. They were so distracted. And we were up at another place outside, and we were walking around. There were a lot of people playing that game thing, and it was freaking weird. It was, even though everyone was around, they were in their own little world.
Well, and Bob, I just saw this the other day in a crosswalk. This kid, I mean, it was an adult kid, but this kid had a phone and had his face down towards his phone,
right,
texting as he's walking across the crosswalk, not even paying attention to anything.
Right.
It's just so dangerous because sometimes, people don't see you, or you want to be aware of your surroundings. I can't even wear earbuds when I walk listening to a podcast because I want to hear things if someone yells, or if a dog comes running, or, we have a little bit of wildlife sometimes down in the streets with coyotes and javelinas, and you'll hear the javelinas grunt. You want to be aware of them. They can get dangerous, But if you have a little earbuds in the whole time, you don't hear anything. I always found I want to use my senses. I want to be awakened. I want to be alive, and I want to be aware of what's in my vicinity. It's very crazy.
When you can make those decisions, and when you need to analyze it, but then also feel it. Because sometimes it's not easy to go, oh yeah, let me feel stuff. And then it's like, for me, if I wanted to make sure that best I could, I was practical. Many years ago, I would feel something, and I'm like, now, why am I feeling that?
Mm-hmm.
What is that connection? What's the outcome of that particular feeling?
Absolutely.
Just a quickie. Who is on line 858 area code?
Freaking Gates, I'm out of money, okay? I want a good donation. Press 1 right now if you want to donate money to the wall.
You're picking up some interesting.
Yeah.
Is it prank calls, or is it a computer generated type of things? Like,
nothing. I mean, this is coming through. I mean, it's a total different. I mean, it's a computer generated whole telephone system.
Yeah, that's your phone thing, man. I'm like, yeah, we're not pushing buttons.
I'm gonna send love to everybody today. Lots of love.
Always.
Even to the ones I don't understand.
Well, maybe I quoted a part you didn't want to understand.
Oh yeah.
You know what we were talking about before that, the things that with the emotions. Now this is Valentine's Day, and of course we're all in the Valentine's mood in a way. Everybody, even where I was and everything else, they're all happy, whatever, and a little hug here and whatever. And I'm like, why can't we do this all the time? They were the only ones that I've seen lately with emotions enough that they knew that they wanted to be close to someone and tell them Happy Valentine's.
And to share it openly.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes. And it was so awesome. And I'm saying, why not every day?
Yeah, we look at each other and cry all the time.
In a beautiful way. We laugh about that all the time.
We just well up with this beautiful love emotion, and we're just like, oh.
And the great thing is we just have to be us. The very people we've been our whole lives that people did and didn't understand us, completely vibed with by Mag. And as myself for her as well, going, man, I accept her completely. She's amazing in every way. And when we don't have to be, completed by someone else, we know that we're already 100% a person incomplete, and they're 100% incomplete. And that kind of connection allows 200% in this relationship. And it sounds like semantics, playing on words, but the way you vibe. And notice what you're sharing, Bob, is when you talk with these people and they share that, I'm willing to bet you get a few endorphins flying through there too to go,
oh, I always get good. You ever get the goosies on the arm?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of thing, it's like, woo.
Yeah.
And it's like, that something's like, when I wrote the thing for Amy, I was writing, and like you ever see this guy and the writers, and they're like they'll write something and they'll crush it up with their hands and throw it and go, over the shoulder thing. You're like, there goes that piece of paper, there goes that piece of paper, there goes that piece of paper. It was so funny that, like, you guys know me very, very well. If I meditate whatsoever, it's usually walking around and letting my mind just go. It's like grounding your whole self to yourself and then just letting that shell talk to you.
Right.
It's
And
kind
let
of
that information connect.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a little backwards, but it works for me.
That's the beauty of it. Find your way uniquely, whatever way works. That's the brilliance of it. Anything's good.
And the funny part about it is, maybe it's just me. I don't know. It's like love is a whole different to me. All these things and like writing the thing in there for Amy, it just came out, and it was the most stupid thing I've ever done in my life. I swear to God. Usually, I'll go back and I'll say, well, maybe I'll change it to this, or maybe I'll change. Me writing a book, it'll take me years. But it's like you want to put this, you want to go with that. Maybe I should add this. Maybe I should make that shorter. Maybe I shouldn't explain this much or whatever. What is there? I literally, and Diane could be the witness because she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I have to write this thing, whatever." And I'm writing away and everything else. I said, "I'm done." And then I played the thing back, and she goes, I didn't know even what it was going to sound like when it came back.
Wow, beautiful. Hey, and Amy, thank you so much for sharing your talents with us. We appreciate that.
That's the AI.
Oh, Amy, thank you. That's beautiful. She sounded fairly normal.
It's a program. It's a program where if you want the thing to sound normal, you have to learn how to use commas and little chart, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Because that pauses the voice or draws it out or makes it smaller or something like that. I spent about an hour.
Beautiful.
Now, notice what you're saying, that AI is creating that with you.
Oh, yeah.
That's the simplicity. It's an acclimation step at a time so that people are comfortable. And I always share the fact that, remember back in the day, communication, looking at each other and talking, the kids are like this as they stand right in front of each other. I'm like, duh, there you go. And thankfully, my boys have been very effective with their phones to talk with people, not just to text. And if they're in front of them, they don't even bring that phone out.
I literally, and some people that make fun of me. I usually my front pocket, and is where I put the phone, and there's one little part on the jeans that's turning white, where the point of the cell, rubs against the denim.
Interesting.
So my friend says, "Well, why don't you just get a new pair of pants?" I said, "Why?" I says, "You don't like it that my phone stays in my pocket more than it does out of my pocket?"
And any response?
He turns around and he goes, "Huh?"
And I have 3 other pockets to choose from.
That's true. I gotta wear out the other one.
Yeah. You can keep those jeans for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm gonna do it just for the hell of it. I mean, it's a conversation point. It's like, hey, it's cool.
What?
But meanwhile, back with you guys. No, I want to know this. Back with you guys. How'd you spend your Valentine's Day?
Oh, actually, I always like to love on my puppy. So this morning, Jamie and the puppy and we just snuggled a little bit extra in bed, and he got more love, and he got to roll on his back, and then he took me for a walk, and, he does his thing. I actually worked today, though. I edited a podcast.
She's got
what else did I do? I don't know. I ran an errand to the store, got roses from my honey. Yeah, he gifted me roses. So we're just going to relax. I had to work today, but just, but other than that,
we're going to problem to have.
Relax and love each other. And I'm going to plan on this evening. I want to clean my rocks. So all the rocks, and I like to love on my stones.
Wait a minute, I'm not missing any, am I?
No, I have to jiggle harder for you to hear those ones.
Rocks in your head, but I believe we do have crystals.
But yeah, all we have a whole bookcase full of different crystals. So I'm going to clean them all and love on them all since it's Valentine's Day and give them lots of good energy. So
that sounds like Diane. I got things all over the place. Every once in a while, I find another one sitting somewhere.
Beautiful.
energy all around the room or something, or maybe one on the computer or one on the table in front of me.
Yeah.
Notice, right, exactly. They're facilitators and a lot of times harmonizers, depending on what you use. But those connections, for me, it's like, well, I just unify all of them. It doesn't matter if it's rose quartz, amethyst, crystal, whatever it is, quartz kind of thing. But I put that exact energy through everything. Because to me, I always say, unless you've possibly done the molecular structuring or the light frequency modulation of that crystal, do you really know that those are the qualities connected to it? Or could it possibly be that we received information from another source in some way and now apply that information to that specific item and work with that specific item in that way? So I'm lazy. I don't just do it one. Everyone has their own unique energy of facilitation and a unified integration. That way there's no, I have to work and which one am I coming on? It's a major stream of information, all harmonized, not separated, to me.
You were going to say something. I saw it, man.
I love stones, and they have a sentience to them. They have a wisdom to them, and when you commune with them, they speak volumes. Like they all feel different. They all say different things. They all communicate in different ways, and I don't know. I just like to play with them and see what they have to say and love on them.
And that stuff's real. Talking I can only speak for myself as well, and that is they do. I've had stones out while we're walking. I found something and I put it down, like, no, over here. So I freaking put it over there. I've learned to listen, and if it feels right, I act on it one way or another. So it's really cool that life is always speaking to us. Are we listening? And carry on our own conversation as well as conversations with others, finding ourselves within life, not losing ourselves to it.
It is funny though. Annette, how so many things, and then I'm gonna go with you on the rock because you told me that story once before, and I heard that. It's absolutely true. The planet does talk to us if we listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The whole planet. I mean, when they call Gaia, it is. I mean, it is the mother. We have to listen. That's all. And so many people, when I was a kid, now we used to do crazy things like that. I mean, we did talk to rocks, just about. I mean, and we weren't on drugs, God dang it. But I'm serious. As funny as it is, we used to have collections of anything, rocks to plants to trees, all those kind of crazy things. But that was us as kids. Like my dad, for instance. No, I'll tell you something that I never talk about to anybody. He had a little saint. The saint that's benefit to all of us. I forget whether it was Joseph or one of those, but it was in a little glass clip, and I'm talking as big as I'm showing you on the screen. So it's about 1.5 inches high, very very little one, gold. Yeah,
beautiful.
My father took that little vial thing, and we had this tree. He had this like beautiful lawn all the way around. We had a corner piece of property, and we had a lot of grass. And the grass looked better than any picture you'll see on anywhere. Like Turf Builder and all that kind of stuff. And that grass is garbage compared to my dad.
And it was real.
Oh yeah, it was very real.
Beautiful.
And he by this tree, and then he took the thing and he buried it. And he said a little prayer over it. We had a blue spruce that when my father passed in 1961, I think that spruce on the corner of our property was about anywhere between 30 and 40 feet tall. It was big, and I mean round. I mean round like maybe 12 foot,
Nice.
if you put a straight line, where the tree was. Well, when he started that, I was a kid, and it was about maybe 1955, maybe 54, in that ballpark, and that somewhere that best I can remember, I was like 4, 5 when he buried it. That thing was a twig. So in the amount of years that it actually was, how did that tree get that big, that quick, when it usually takes 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
He was happy.
A little more validation. Yeah.
My dad, I'm telling you, he was one of those guys that he was a city boy. He grew up very poor. His mother passed away from cancer when he was a little kid. His father more or less just disconnected from the whole family. His sister, he had two sisters. They moved out. Who knows where they went? So he more or less, I mean, barely lived. And then it was my great grandfather that actually took him, and said, gave him food or whatever he did. And then he helped on my grandfather's milk route with his horse in New York.
Wow. That's
Now,
the good old days.
Now we're talking some history here. Cobblestone streets.
Wow.
And everything else. I mean, this is the kind of stuff it is. And he used to give my father milk and things like that. And my father grew up appreciating life, which is what almost none of us ever think about. We think about, well, we're here, I do this, I'm going fishing, I'm going here, I'm going to the club or whatever. They don't think of, how did I get here? Why am I here? Why did someone put me here? And what is my path? What am I going to do in my life?
I think a lot of people are right there now.
And what do you want to do before the end of your life? Not a bucket list. I'm talking of for real, okay, what did I accomplish?
And sometimes looking back on that, you might get a different perspective. It's not easy, but you kind of bring up an interesting point for me. I do a lot of studies and all that kind of good stuff. But what if there's a potential that your dad putting that statue there and his blessing or his prayer or mantra or whatever it was, what if nature is always listening to us? What if what he was speaking in whatever way registered in the molecular structure of that tree? And you physically have validation. It's not like, oh, sure. It's, no, I think they don't usually grow that quickly and that thick. And so now all he had to do was allow that reaction from those beautiful intents of the words. Because, to me, words are nothing but mere vibrational patterns on our ear knobs. That's why you can pray in any language, and it's not only heard, it is felt. Because for me, I always say the universe is always doing this for us every moment. What can I do for you? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And the challenge is most of us come from what we don't want rather than what we do want. And the great thing is notice what he did. Saint, whoever it is, the beautiful being that he put in there, is now it's an amplified spiritual vibration that's connecting with his soul, his life experience. And now he unified that, in this case, through consciousness of those trees, in this case, the one molecular structure, and now it's growing beautifully. And you got to enjoy the bennies of it sooner rather than later.
My dad was actually the one that had taught me that God is with us all the time. My mother was the one. She was the church person. And then, of course, I was in church, and then I was, I learned Latin, and I was an altar boy and all that good stuff.
Beautiful.
But the other side of that was my father was the kind of person that did not go to church all the time, but he knew there was a God. And he was my uncle, when he went out to Long Island when my father had passed away, he had a sign off for the body. As gross as that sounds, but that's what it was. The cop was the state cop that was there, and that was there when my father was there and the ambulance came to pick him up. He said that he whispered to the cop, "Get me a priest." Now, why in God's name, hello God,
that's
good. would somebody turn around and ask something like that minutes before he passed? I'm serious. This is the kind of family that I came from. And that's why a lot of things that we do, just like what your mother taught you and everything, it was things that mean something to us throughout our life. We grow on those things. They're the fertilizer that makes this seed grow. And I mean, that's just the way we go. And people do not, if they just sat down, I mean, I swear to God, man, if I could talk in front of 1,000 people, I would. And just tell them they're all schmucks.
Oh, shoot.
I'm serious. If you really, 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 really want to get anything out of life, right? Do what I've said 1 billion times on the show. Look in the mirror and say, "I love you." See how you feel. If you feel what you're saying, you have hope. I mean, you can be reconstructed, out of what's happening to us now.
But look at what you're saying. That love will transcend you. You look into your eyes, your soul, it will amplify that, give you those endorphins, and you're genuine. You can perceive it however you want, unconditionally. That's beautiful.
We used to walk our dog Coda in the desert, and there was these 3 little bushes, and I called them our 3 little girls because we would stop there and gave our dog some water. He'd lap up water, whatever was left in the dish, we would water these 3 little girls, the 3 bushes. And just recently, we haven't been on that trail in years, and we were just there last week. And these 3 bushes are bigger and taller and more beautiful than any of the other ones that were still there, same size when we all started this. And we used to love on them. We'd feed them water, but we'd also just like love them and talk to them and touch them and say hi to them and say, "Hi, girls," and they love that. We don't treat everything as sentient when we could actually share love and practice sharing love with even a tree or a bush or a rock or a stone. Everything can emanate love. And that's the beauty of this universe, is that when we allow love to flow in our daily lives, we can help the planet, we can help ourselves, but we can also have attachments to all these places of love everywhere we go. And they're amazing how well these girls are doing. We haven't seen in over a year and a half, we haven't seen the girls, and they are thriving. They're happy. And of course, they always remember us. But it sounds a little crazy, but until you start talking to trees, touching trees, and loving on trees, you try it. Just try it. Love on everything you can possibly love on today and every day.
And just allow yourself to share what Bob did. And that is, tell yourself how amazing you are, how you love you, because you cannot give what you do not have. And a lot of people will run on empty. And my thing is when you can do that, it's a self-realization, not a negation. And today is my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father's is October.
Beautiful.
Yep.
October, believe it or not, 2 days from the day he died.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Coming in and going out right around the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's only this life into the infinite oneness. This is not the only life we've lived. To me, it's that unified connection that we're on this planet because we choose to. Why are we here? To live. What is the meaning of life? Live.
And love.
Right.
And love.
Most survive or exist. I'm like, frick that. Life is short as we perceive it. But there is no moment. It's eternal.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing you said there, of like life being short. Right? It's not. I'll the pin in the balloon with that one. The thing that I see with that is the things that we do is so much more longer than we perceive them. Because the people that we talk to or touch from the time we're born, those people, if you're really, really, really good at what you do, like being yourself and loving yourself, you can set a fire in the people around you, which means that everything that you said, someone else is going to either do, say, or believe in what you did, what you said. So if I'm over 70 and I'm talking to a child that's 5 years old, and that child said, "You know what? This guy told me," but now he's 14, and he's telling somebody that's 9. See the perpetual?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your legacy always lives on.
The ripple effect.
Part of you lives forever as long as you believe in yourself.
Well, and that's the thing. You get enough of that, you'll shift your belief system to a knowing system.
Right.
With confidence, not cockiness.
Exactly.
And then, I always say, never mistake love and compassion for weakness. It is the complete opposite. You can be strong enough to come from that compassion, to understand the best that we can where another is, so that we can go, oh, you know what? In this case, I've been through that, and here's what I did, and here's how it turned out. Because for myself, I'm looking at anyone I'm talking with, not just to, but with, as the end result of whatever it is they're sharing. And for me, it's like, ooh, I like your end result. So if what you're going to share with me is going to get me more like that, bada bing, I'm listening. But if you're talking about things and you're not living what you're sharing, I always say that that's like you're 800 pounds at a gym telling people, I'm going to show you how to look good. The average person will be like, wow, that's a great intent, but that may not quite be the end result I'm looking for.
Oh yeah.
Do you? That's the beauty of it. But everything, those vibes, life is vibing with our conscious thoughts and unconscious thoughts.
And unconscious, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's unconditional. It's allowed.
Dreams.
That's why everything is, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the love.
I mean, there's another thing too that's happening, and I don't know whether it's happening. Well, you guys have daydreams, but dreams, and they have been going bananas, absolutely bananas. People are getting all these. I mean, the people been look, Mac. You talk to a lot of people all the time. How many people tell you they're dreaming all the time, or they had a dream that, or today, and tomorrow, and the next day? There's something in the air.
Neptune's in Pisces. So that rules a lot of our dream state. And it's been in Pisces for a while. It's at the final degrees. So whatever Neptune can accomplish while being in Pisces, while being in that illusory, Pisces rules illusion and delusion. And that is our dreams. We don't know if they're real or not, right? So it has a rulership over that. So when Neptune goes into the last degrees of Pisces, it's not all the way in the final degrees, but when it enters in, sometimes it's like, what else do you need from this energy before it goes away? Because it will, Neptune will then move into Aries, and that's a totally different field. But when Neptune is in its natural sign of Pisces, this is a sign of the dreamer. This is a sign of, what do you believe? What is your belief in a higher power? And so that actually is part of why it's so active for people right now.
Wow.
From an astrological perspective.
She's got a lot of good insight.
I was gonna say that's pretty good.
It is pretty good, yeah.
But genuine.
I don't know, man. I'm a Taurus, so like forget about it. I'm all messed up.
But everybody has every sign somewhere in their chart, because we have house placements, and you always have Neptune in Pisces will always be activating some part of your astrological chart. Even though it's a transitory planet, it's going to affect whatever house placement you have that Pisces is in. And that might be a couple of different houses, sometimes one, sometimes two. So that's how you can go and look and see, okay, what is going on? What is this affecting, and how is it affecting me? And if you want to understand why you are dreaming about what you are dreaming about, then you do want to look at those house placements, because that shows you where it's going to show up in your life. And so you can actually interpret a lot of why it's happening just by looking at a chart and understanding where it shows up by the house placement. So that's something to consider if people want to dig into their dream state a little bit more.
And as Mag has done this, to me, it's fascinating, because a lot of people will have certain characteristics, personality traits of that sign, that planet, whatever it is. I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. The planets are giving you insight about individualized people's experiences.
He's sitting in on one of my astrology classes right now, so he's just like, whoa.
Well, I do this all day long. I'm not silly. I question everything. But I love that, because she's very practical. It's information. She doesn't claim to know everything, but she's able to share. She's able to talk and communicate with people.
Yeah,
that's when they can feel.
You're learning. You
always.
But I'm saying you are learning because you're questioning.
Yes. I've got an insatiable hunger.
That is the biggest thing that my teachers, when I was like a kid, we're talking like way back in Catholic school.
That's a long time ago. Life is long.
A time ago. 900, 300, I don't know, something like that. But anyway, those people that used to always say, always impress, or more or less, I don't know.
Pound.
Like, no, it's like getting a, what do they call them, stupid things? I don't know. It's like somebody imprints it right into your body somehow. Question. And they would give us, first of all, they would give us answers. Now, this is something that I don't see done anywhere. They give you all the answers. And then they ask you to question them. Now you got the questions, but what is, or you have all the answers, but what is the question? And if you do it backwards like that, you'd be surprised, man. People open up like unbelievably. I remember when I was a kid, man, this one kid started crying. One of the things that I forget what the question was, but the kid started crying. And they couldn't understand because he said, why does it have to be that way? You know what I mean? Now, of course, there was the question, but he knew the answer already, even though it couldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just need to have it brought up to the surface of consciousness to go, okay, I'm not making stuff up. And that's something that I've been dealing with or feeling or seeing in my own life. And coming from you without judgment, it's just like, hey, here's information. I love you for who you are, man. Just keep being you. But it's that connection that will allow them to open up, to refine and define their own by their soul searching, their expression. You know, who am I? What do I do? What do I want to do? What more have I done?
And why not cry if you don't like it? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like your answer. I'm going to go cry. We
Yeah.
do this in life. I mean, if I were to ask for something and someone said no, I might get butthurt. I might go in the corner and cry, you know. I might go, you know, depending on what I'm feeling in that moment. So if we approach everything with love, even when we don't like the answer, even if we don't like the world that we're in, we can at least see some beauty in the dark corners or in the crevices or in the small places too. And it's where we tune our eyes into what we focus on is what we're going to be drawing to us as well. So another thing about love, the more you focus on actually feeling love and being love and expressing love, the more love is naturally going to magnetize to you effortlessly, because that's exactly what you're focused on. And vibrational matches of the universe, you know, the law of cause and effect, what you put out, you get back. Boomerang it out and watch it come back. And again, it all starts with self-love. It all starts with looking at yourself and saying, I love you, because that is where, when people are asking about love relationships and how do I find the love of my life and how to create the love and how do I express this love, you have to do that for yourself, or else you can never match something that can match you. And if you are scared of doing that for yourself, you'll attract someone that's scared of doing it for themselves. And then you just get to work through it together. But it is an inward journey first. And then it surfaces to be able to share that, to be able to really unify with other people through that template of love, or you can call it a template. It's just an energy, right?
I hope everybody heard that. Yeah, I hope everybody that watches this gets what you just said, because what you just said was a mouthful. Let me tell you. I'll give you a quickie. Whole bunch of this is going back about let's see, last spring, I guess it was, and then it was in front of a whole bunch of people in the place, and they were like asking me about the radio station and all kinds of questions, and we were talking about love. You know, of course, that always comes up somehow, some way. And this one guy turned around, and it was fun. Now these are older people. These are not. You know, like this is where I was like a 55 up, you know, area. And this guy said, and everybody could hear him. He goes, well, how would you show love to the whole world and the people around you? So, all right. So I turned around and I said to myself, okay. What would I do? What would I do? This is what I said to him. I said, well, if I want to show that I love the world, of course, don't want to get in trouble, because I do love the world, put down the toilet seat.
Everybody has their own love language.
Yeah.
Everybody in the place were down. They were on the floor. Because how many people leave the toilet paper? I mean, the toilet seat up.
Not me.
If it gets,
I'm in the oddball.
but I mean, I'm serious. But how many people do? And the funny thing was that, I mean, everybody related to that so fast. So I mean, I went down to grassroots. You know, it was like, bam.
But look at how you got them to choose to dive into that. You know,
Exactly.
not only, yeah, I have a lot of people who will come to me and some will be like, well, I don't know what unconditional love is. What the? And my response is, have you ever seen a newborn baby? Have you ever had a fur baby and a pet? And they're like, oh, I'm like, right. That's the point. It's unconditional. You just have to be you, no matter what. Oddball people throughout centuries and millennia have been loved just by being themselves.
And now what you could add to that is, and what real unconditional love is still loving your husband when he leaves the toilet seat up.
That's
That's
love.
unconditional.
That was perfect. I was thinking about what he said about the fur baby and that. I mean, let's face it, you're not going to go next door and pet your neighbor.
Oh, that's a good point. You know, it's for myself. I'm also interested in, with that complete acceptance, we accept them unconditionally, they accept us. And my thing is, with the molecular structuring and how our body receives information, why not, of their own choice, the animals will choose to accept that vibration come from love or happiness or fulfillment or empowerment or clarity of thought, whatever it would be. And then the owners of that beautiful fur baby are able to unconditionally, effortlessly connect with that energy vibe and then start to vibe with that on a molecular structure in your cells and all that kind of stuff. That's the unconditional. And they're for us as well.
And super unconditional love is when you don't judge, right? The lack of judgment allows love to flow. And that starts with the self first. And we're always hardest on ourselves and more judgmental and critical of ourselves than anyone else will ever be. So this is why self-love is so freaking important, because once there's no judgment, it doesn't matter what your neighbor's doing or not doing. It doesn't matter if someone leaves a toilet seat up or not. It's as long as we don't judge that specific action or that specific person, we're fine. It doesn't mean we have to like it. It doesn't mean that we have to stand by it or support it. Okay. Because there's a lot of things in the world that I do not like. However, I work really hard at sending love, even to the things that I don't like, even to the people that I don't like, even to the situations that break my heart. Those are things that need more love naturally. And so that's what true unconditional love is. And when we can have it for ourselves, we can hold it for our relationships, we can hold it for our country, our world, our humanity. Sky's the limit. What can you hold love for? The universe is just waiting for us to open and allow it to flow through us.
The more and more you say that, the more this thought goes through my mind. There's got to be some way that we can get a couple of hundred people on a show like this and let them all talk
at the same time.
Oh, well, that'll probably happen anyway. But I mean, I can shut everybody up all one touch of a button. But the idea is, remember what I said, Ned, about the older guy that talked to the kid and the kid passed on the legacy, et cetera, et cetera. We can do the same thing using worldwide radio. Now, of course, I've got people that are going to come on here and that they're from Brazil. We have other ones from all kinds of, I have people coming from all over the place. But the idea is there is no boundary to what we can do. We have servers in places that anybody, anywhere. I have Streama, I have TuneIn. The reason why I have them is because as long as you have internet, you can get into those anywhere. Right? Maybe not China, but they're a little weird anyway. But I do have people though in Taiwan that do, listen. So, we gotta think of a way. There's gotta be some kind of little seedy way that we can throw a whole bunch of people together. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow.
We'll call it the Love Fest.
That's beautiful. It brings up a point for me, as I always say, I'm lazy. It takes no more energy for me to send love and light to a person than to the all that is. That's everywhere, nowhere, everywhere in between, and everywhere beyond. That kind of a unification allows me to just let things be the way that they are. Let people be the way that they are. And when you can have that connection in whatever way, when people walk away from your presence, they will feel differently. It will be a shift in consciousness by that energy of communication, information, love, empowerment, all of those things. And I love to help people to help themselves. I'm about empowerment, not enablement. Because to me, nobody needs to be fixed. Nobody needs to be saved. Showing that power within, become more self-realized, right, and begin to live life more and survive it.
We're pretty good people,
Try to be, just us, man. But when you can just be you and it feels that, it's genuine. We don't have to force it. All we have to do is allow it. That's the big difference. It's not work. It's effortless.
Not bad. Well, that's about the end of, but I want to tell, well, let me see now. The next time you're going to be up is 2 weeks.
Yep.
You're going to be back. And I really, by that time, and hopefully by that time, we will have a plan. But of course, I'll write you.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody around here, let me tell you, everybody that's listening, this is how you get in touch with Jamie. You write to, or you get on the website, jamieclark.net. That's how you do it. You get on that website and you can write to him. Or if you're really, really, really like, I don't know if I know that site. Well, here you go. BobCharlesShow@live.com. I take my email that I get from you and I switch it right over to Jamie. See that? We can do it. We can funnel things anywhere, anytime. This is amazing time in our lives. Really.
The very same technology that can be used many different ways. Isn't that crazy? Good, bad, happy, sad. It's all in the way that you want to use it. Always good to talk with you, brother. Happy Valentine's, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of love to you.
And everybody who's listening, too, at the same time, they love the show. Because we're humans. We're talking to them. That's pretty good. Got to remind everybody, don't forget, happy Valentine's Day to you all. Remember one thing. Love is not L-O-V-E. It's Y-O-U. To everybody out there, God bless you all. Bob Charles. Out!